Experts, Vols Halftime Show, Big Orange Halftime Show here with former quarterback Jonathan Crompton. I'm Austin Stanley of A to Z Sports. There's a game going on the field, but there's also a lot of stuff going on off the field for the Vols, as right after Harrison Bailey throws a beautiful touchdown on a wheel route to a tight end of all people. The Vols took a 7-0 lead, and then it came out. Trey Wallace hit send from Fox Sports Knoxville, and the Vols are under investigation. Their football program is via their own compliance office. Also, the NCAA. We'll talk more about that. And Texas A&M has a 24-13 lead at halftime, and the Tennessee defense really ruined an opportunity to make this game much different going into the halftime break. But Jonathan Crompton, Austin Stanley here live on a Saturday afternoon. Now, don't forget to share this show a bit. A lot of conversations we're going to have here on this halftime show and a post-game show after this game. But first, let me thank of our sponsors for making this and allowing this to happen. BioPure Music City, changing the standard of clean. Protect your crew from the flu with BioPure Music City. They got their brand new hand sanitizer out. That's a residual water-based hand sanitizer that protects you for hours and hours and hours, not like 20 minutes like the other stuff. BioPure Music City at biopureservice.com. Also, Ashbusters Chimney Service, ashbusters.net, your chimney experts for sweeping and inspections before the winter months and custom masonry as well. Ashbusters.net is where to go. So before we talk investigation, and that opens up a big can of worms for a lot of things. Crompton, you were saying right before we went live about what the Tennessee defense did not do that hurt this football team.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at the numbers, and it's upsetting because our quarterbacks, they played well. And I'm looking at this first comment, and it's a really good comment from Brendan. It says, quick trigger for the QB, but no accountability on the defensive side. We've talked about that all year. We have no depth on defense, and for a defensive head coach, that's upsetting. But we're 100% passing right now, right? We are 7 of 7. I'm going to throw it that way, with 2 touchdowns. We ran the ball 10 times. Kellen Mond has 22 attempts. He has more attempts than we do offensive plays. We have to get off the field on defense, and it starts with if your number is mentioned as and I used to room with some defensive players. If your number is mentioned as a defensive player, it better be for a sack, interception. You know what I mean? You don't want your number coming up in negative ways, especially 2 times in the first half on costly third downs, especially by a senior. 3rd and 10 on the first drive, you make it 3rd and 5, you extend their drive, touchdown. 3rd and 14, incomplete pass, hands to the face, extend the drive, touchdown. Not a good way to start the first half of your senior day. And that's unfortunate because he's a good kid and he plays hard. But I mean, we've got to have more accountability on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, that's true because DeAndre Johnson, you can't have the 2 third down penalties to hurt us, and they both lead to touchdowns. 14 points off of those penalties that we've given them because we've played well. Yeah. I know we're down 11, but we've played really well so far, especially offensively, and we haven't been able to say that in a long time. And that's what's upsetting. We have to get off the field. We do. They're methodically moving the ball down the field, and what's really concerning is they score right before half, and we know how bad we are on defense in the third quarter.
Yeah, well, and how bad the entire team is in the third quarter, and it was a really razor thin margin of error once again for the Tennessee Volunteers, and now they're in a position where I don't necessarily see how they can come back and really challenge for this game because A&M gets the ball back to start, and so we got questions from John and Joseph and a bunch of people talking about what investigation is the NCAA investigating Tennessee. That is absolutely what has been reported from Trey Wallace of Fox Sports Knoxville, who is one of the more connected guys in the entire Knoxville media, does a lot of really good, actual journalism that we are not used to seeing in these ages of 2020, especially when it comes to sports. But Trey Wallace is somebody who is very connected, and he sent this out breaking Tennessee football under investigation by compliance and the NCAA. University of Tennessee football program currently being investigated by its own compliance department and the NCAA into alleged recruiting violations and alleged impermissible benefits to current college students. So I'm going to stop there because, Jonathan Crompton, you're a former college athlete, so you actually know what is an impermissible benefit. So before we all react to it, we need to know what the hell we're talking about. What is an impermissible benefit to a student athlete? Because you've lived this life.
The NCAA and I'm sure a lot of people have seen Family Guy in the segment that says what grinds my gears.
Yeah.
I can go on for a long time on what grinds my gears about the NCAA. They are the scammers and the cheaters. I hate to say it that way, but that's just the reality. We had a teammate. I'm not going to say his name because he has since passed away from a horrific accident. He went to Wendy's and they gave him a junior bacon cheeseburger for an autograph, and he got suspended.
Right.
So we could be talking about something as little as that, or actual cash money that they're paid to come. The NCAA is a lot of people, in my opinion, that have never played any sport, and they're sitting behind desks and are just making things up because they think it sounds good. Personal opinion. And so when your own compliance gets involved, the easiest way to get out of it is do what LSU did. Hey, we're going to give ourselves a bowl ban this year because you're not going anyway. So we'll just take our 1-year bowl ban this year and we'll self-impose that. That's the way to kind of get out of something like this, because it could be something, like I said, as little. And I'm seeing a comment that says, WTF, a cheeseburger? Yeah, legit. It was a junior bacon cheeseburger, and he was a defensive lineman. He got suspended. But then again, I also know people that other things were happening. I'm not one of them. That other things were happening in a lot grander scale, because that's the thing about college football in today's world. That stuff's going to happen. There's how much you get some of these kids to go to some of these places. Hate to say it that way. So we could be talking about something like that. I hope it's not that, but that's also the kind of the bad part about college football. That's where we've allowed it to go.
Yeah, well, and here's the elephant in the room, and that's not an Alabama reference because Jeremy Pruitt's a head coach, but the elephant in the room is Bobby's type of comment saying you have to fire Pruitt ASAP, and Shrike saying Fulmer's escape hatch, boosters wanting Pruitt out so much they blow the whistle. So let's react to this. Let's react to this side of the things, because I know a lot of people are making comments about what this could be for Jeremy Pruitt. So I want to ask you guys this question. Could this NCAA violation be the end for Jeremy Pruitt at Tennessee? That's the question. Not should, but could this NCAA and compliance investigation be the end of Jeremy Pruitt at Tennessee? But first, let me tell you guys more about our great sponsor, BioPure Music City. And this is serious for a little bit, because BioPure Music City is helping you guys out, protect you, your family, your employees, whoever you're around, protect them from the flu and the coronavirus, because they're EPA regulated and registered to kill the coronavirus and the flu. And new product alert for BioPure Music City, their Shield hand sanitizer. It's a water-based residual hand sanitizer and protected. So that means it protects you for hours and hours and hours. If you go to work, you can squirt this hand sanitizer, this BioPure hand sanitizer, on all your employees. They're good for the rest of the day with their hand sanitizer. You don't have to reapply like that. BioPureService.com is where to go. That stuff is legit. BioPureService.com. BioPure Music City, 615-635-0555. So the question, Cromp, could this be the end of Jeremy Pruitt at Tennessee? And I will let you take the floor before I read some comments.
I'm reading some of these comments, and there's one. I've lost it. I was trying to scroll up to find it. So I don't know who it was, but it was a great comment. So I hope you find it. Because none of us know the actual clauses in a buyout. I'm curious as who leaked this information. I have my own suspicions. I'll leave that to myself. But this comment, I think, kind of was on the right track somewhere, sniffing around going, could this be a way to not have to buy out a contract?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the clauses. It depends on the verbiage of the contract, but that might be onto something. You know what I mean? Like I said, we won't know until somebody actually gets in there and can see what's going on. But that might be a way to try to get out of something and not have to pay money and try to move in a different direction. But I have my own suspicions of what I've called this suspicion for about 2.5 to 3 years now. That all my very close friends know what I mean. Then the ones that are watching, you'll get a nice giggle. that something will happen, I predict, and a certain someone will. Yeah, never mind. I'll leave it at that. Everybody can read. Everybody can read between the lines.
Jacob says, "Come on, man, just tell the tale."
I can't. I can't do it. Jacob, I wish I could. But the next comment that you pulled up, that read between the lines with that comment.
Yeah, sounds like sabotage, and
sabotage has happened in the past.
Yeah, and then you've got a couple giggles going on. And Cliff says, "Remember how Fulmer got his head coaching job, and reportedly how Fulmer got his AD job."
Cliff, you can read between the lines.
I mean, so you didn't have to say that part. You could just let me read Cliff's comment and let you just stay quiet and just move on.
But again, it is what it is. But that's what I think could be the case to try to convince everybody that the university can be saved. I don't know the extent of any of these violations. Nobody does yet. I'm curious.
I will say this. We and our team at A to Z Sports Nashville, before this halftime show literally interrupted me making phone calls and texting people trying to find out more information about this. So once this halftime show is over, I will return to doing that, and make sure you stay tuned to A to Z Sports Nashville.com, all of our social media, because we are actively working on this because there are rumblings and there are things that are being told to us about what this could mean. And let's read further into Trey Wallace's report, guys, because as you go down, it says inside linebackers coach Brian Niedermeyer, multiple Tennessee assistants, support staffers, and players have been questioned by the university's compliance department. And it says, according to sources, Tennessee's compliance department, including Adam Tate, was made aware of potential violations and began an investigation immediately. And the next line is it. Before the game today, it was announced that Brian Maurer and Eric Gray would not be made available, though no given reason was given. I am reading between those lines and telling you that Brian Maurer and Eric Gray would not be mentioned in this report if it was COVID related, right? There is no reason to mention those two players if they were missing today's game because of COVID related issues or contact tracing. That tells you guys, look, we're reading in between the lines multiple times here on this halftime show. That means that those two guys had to be involved in some type of way. And again, I'm still actively working on this after this post halftime show, before the post game show, and beyond about this. But what does this mean? Should or could this be the end of Jeremy Pruitt at Tennessee? And I saw a comment that too many comments have happened where it's already scrolled past my view, saying that if the results on the field aren't good enough, then this could absolutely be the end, right? Like if you win games, then your school will actively help you overcome
100%.
Investigations. Hello, 100%. Will Wade, basketball coach at LSU. What's happening? Will Wade was caught on a live wire saying he was paying a recruit that came to LSU lots of money and making a strong-ass offer to other recruits, and LSU has done nothing but stand behind him. Why? Because
that wasn't my voice. That wasn't my voice.
Yeah, get out of here. That was absolutely
but you hit the nail on the head. If you're winning washes everything under the rug. Do you really, anybody in here, including all the Alabama fans, really believe that Alabama's not doing the same thing? Or in USC's heyday, Miami said I hate to say it, and that's the unfortunate part about this. And then coaches like Niedermeyer getting mentioned personally, his name mentioned, it's unfortunate. And I say that because these coaches almost feel like they have to do things like this to get this kid, because the kids have seen what's happened in the past with other players, or they've talked to so-and-so that went to here, blah, 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 and they start demanding stuff. Then you got to start promising things. It puts them in a bad situation. Does the head coach always know what's going on? No. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. I'm saying it's very unfortunate. And I'm very curious to see what you can find out before the end of, for the post-game show, because I'm just curious. I'm hoping that it's something that I was a part of when I was there, that it's just like Wendy's or McDonald's or, the Pilot gas station on the Strip, just giving them some stuff, something like that. But the reality is that that's probably not the case.
Yeah, most likely. And Joseph says, I think it's time to move on from Pruitt. It hasn't changed the culture. UT needs to hire a game changer. Excuse me. I think Jeremy Pruitt's changed the culture. I think He has. I think he's brought guys in here who love football. If you missed our show on Thursday, go back and watch that wherever you're watching right now. It's right there in the same feed. And you can hear us talk about why we think the Vols players like Jeremy Pruitt as a person and like playing for him. They fight hard. He's changed the culture. He's gotten guys and recruited guys who love football, unlike the previous head coach who got guys who loved recruiting. And that's something that I've talked about as well. Now, Joe says, didn't Jay Graham cheat at Texas A&M as well? There was some reports about Jay Graham being under NCAA investigation for recruiting at Texas A&M. Jay Graham's not available in this game today. Neither is Derek Ansley, the defensive coordinator. But those two coaches were not named in this report by Trey Wallace with Fox Sports Knoxville. So there's nothing really we can say to that. There are two players not playing who were named in the report, and Brian Niedermeyer is still coaching as far as we know, and he was named in the report. So Skylar says, how about talking about the game? That's fine. That's what we're about to do now. So we're going to talk about this second half. So thank you for that beautiful transition that you allowed us to make, because you've seen two quarterbacks once again in the first half of this game. So that begs us to ask the question, which quarterback should the Vols play more in the second half? Is it both guys got a touchdown pass, both guys got nice drives? Is it JT Trout or is it Harrison Bailey? Which quarterback should the Vols go with more in the second half? But first, let me tell you guys about Ashbusters Chimney Service, ashbusters.net. They are your chimney experts for any inspections, or fixing it up, whatever it might be, sweeping right before you start to use your fireplace more and more this winter season. Make sure you get Ashbusters, the chimney experts out there to service that before you light that fire. Also, if you're moving, if you're building a new house, if you're renovating, custom masonry work that cannot be beat in the state of Tennessee, they got ashbusters.net and also ashbustersknoxville.com. They're Ashbusters Chimney Service here on the show. Which quarterback, Crump, you rolling with? You got JT Trout, big arm JT.
Well, no, but the thing is, at this point, and this is what I was saying last week and what I said Thursday, I'm just glad we're finally getting to show that we do have two guys that are capable of playing as a 1 and a 2. So to me, it's a toss-up about who goes out there because they're both playing well. We know what they both bring. Bailey's going to be a lot more careful. Trout's going to be a lot more risky.
Even though he's had 2 turnovers already today.
Exactly. So I don't really think that it's a negative either way. But what I would like to see is our offense to be as aggressive as we been. Still do a couple wrinkles like the fake reverse wheel route.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then get one-on-one matchups on the post route like we did on Trout's touchdown. Those things we've been wanting. We've all been saying this all year, so we're doing it now. Now we're actually seeing the creativity of Chaney.
Mm-hmm.
We're finally getting to see that. So I'm excited about it, either one in the second half, because we're 100% completion percentage. I just wish we'd be on the field a little more to be able to throw it more.
Yeah, those 2 fumbles are really hurting Harrison Bailey. And I know we'll talk about this more when we have extended time, but I think Jeremy Pruitt needs to allow Harrison Bailey to work through some of these issues. The only way you get over a bad turnover is to be able to go out there the next drive and try to forget it and move forward, right? You can't just every time you turn the ball over, you can't be pulled.
You can't, no. But notice what I said last week. Is he trying to be today's age, the old ball coach where he's playing quarterback carousel? I've always hated that. I don't think it's right. As a quarterback, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to throw an interception. As a running back, you're going to fumble. Receivers, you're going to drop a pass. Every time you drop a pass or you miss a pass or you miss a throw, you should not be pulled.
I agree.
So I do say let them both play. The only reason why is it's our last game because we need more tape to see them for next year.
All right, no doubt. A lot of comments. I think Shrout actually was the leader in the clubhouse in the comments. But again, thanks for this Big Orange Halftime show. Again, we will be monitoring the Jeremy Pruitt NCAA investigation and compliance investigation story throughout the second half of this game. We will be back live for our post-game show brought to you by BioPure Music City. Get that new hand sanitizer, guys. It is legit. BioPureService.com and Ashbusters Chimney Service, your chimney experts right there at ashbusters.net. Second half about to get underway. We'll see what happens. See you guys post-game. Thanks for watching.